right, this is Algebra Review 2. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. If you have questions, come ask me before school tomorrow. Bring my line down. Subtract 5 from both sides. -3 minus 5 is -8. Divide both sides by 4. I divide by positive, so my sign stays the same. Oh, sorry, that should be -2. Sorry about that. So we have -2, -1, 0. Told you at least 3 numbers on your number line that are numbered. Open, x is greater than. X is greater than. Number 2. I don't have a number on this side, so I'm just going to move my x over. Oh. Man, I'm making lots of errors today. Sorry about that. Divide both sides by 5. Divide by positive, so my sign stays the same. 5, 6, 7, 4, 3. It's going to be open circle at the 5. X is going to be less than. So it went this direction. Number 3. This is a positive 9, so I'm going to subtract 9. This leaves me with -3x, -18. Divide by -3. Ooh, bells, alarms, whistles, whatever you want to think in your head. I just divided by a negative, so I'm going to flip my sign. This cancels, leave me with x. -18 divided by -3 is 6. It's going to be a closed circle this time, and x is less than, so we're going to go towards the left. All right, let's look at number 4. Draw a line. Subtract 3. 2/7 x. 1. When we have a fraction in front, we can just multiply by the reciprocal. Multiplying by the reciprocal is a skill we learn in earlier grades, but it helps us get just that 1 right here, which cancels it. And 1 times 7/2 is just 7/2. Didn't multiply by negative, so it's going to stay the same direction. I don't care if you change that to a decimal or keep it as halves. Good with all of those. You probably, I would not have changed it to a decimal in the problem because it's a repeating decimal. And we don't know how to multiply and divide by those. So it's going to be open. X is greater. It's going to go that direction. Number 5, distribute. Bring down my addition. -2 times 5 is -10. Bring down my -3. Go ahead and combine these like terms. -10 minus 3 is -13. So -2x minus 13. Add 13 to both sides. Divide by -2. Bells, whistles. Something should be going off because we just divided by a negative. So I'm going to flip my sign. We get -9. So -9, -8, -7, -10, -11. Open circle, x is greater. It's going that direction. All right, let's look at number 6. I know some of these we looked at in class, but let's go and look at it. This is one of those that you should probably pay close attention to because it's got that negative out front, and a few of us are still messing up on these. -3 times 2 is -6. Bring down my subtraction, and then I'm going to do -3 times x, so -3x. 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 1 is 6. Anytime I see subtract and a negative, we should add a line, change of sign. I'm going to subtract 3x. You can subtract the 6x if you want. It's going to work either way. Then I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Divide by 3. I divided by a positive. I'm actually write it out to the side so I have room for my graphing, which is -4. I divided by a positive, so my sign stayed the same. Close circle on my -4. X is less than, so my arrow is going this direction. All right, number 7, 30% of a number. And remember, percents have to be changed into a decimal, so 0.30 of a number. Of means multiply, so multiply times a number, exceeds 72, which means that it is bigger than 72. Not equal to, because we want bigger. All right, let's look at number 8. The product means multiplication, of 5 and a number is more than, so this side's going to be more than, the difference, so I'm going to be subtracting, twice the number, and 3. Those are my two things I'm subtracting. Okay. It just says to write, so we don't need to solve. Tammy is saving money for a new laptop that will cost at least $800. Her mother gives her $200 and Tammy plans to save $40 of her own money each week. How many weeks will it take Tammy to save enough money? So write the equation, solve it. So we have that her mother gave her $200, plus she's going to do $40 each week. Her goal is $800. So it's okay if she earns exactly $800. But if this is how much she's earned, if she earns more than $800, that's also okay. So solve. Divide both sides by 40. I'm divided by a positive, so it's going to stay the same. It's not going to flip my sign. Remember, we only flip the sign when we when we multiply or divide by a negative. So I'm going to do 600 divided by 40, and that gives me 15. Number 10, Cody has $15 to spend on paintbrushes and paint for an art project. He decides to purchase a set of paintbrushes for $5.99 and use the rest of the money on paint. If each tube of paint costs $2.99, how many tubes of paint can he buy? So he has $15. I like putting that on that side, which is okay if you don't. He has a set of paintbrushes for $5.99. Plus, he wants to buy $2.99. And each of them paint is that much. He can spend all $15 if he wants, but this is my spending. It would need to be less than 15. So 15 minus $5.99. I'll subtract $5.99 from both sides. And that is $9.01. Divide both sides by $2.99. Okay, divided by positive, so my sign will stay the same. 3.04. I have some of you not finishing this all the way out. Sorry, put that on the wrong side. Remember, I must have this because it's not just an equal sign. We need to know which side is less than or which side is greater than. This is telling me he can buy less than 3.04 paints. So he can buy 3, 2, or 1 paints. Let's look at 11. Car rental company A, so with A, charges $45 a day to rent a car. B charges $30 a day plus 20 cents per mile. So we have A who just charges $45, while B charges $30 plus 20 cents per each mile. How many miles is the cost at car rental B more than the cost at car rental A for just 1 day? Subtract 30 from both sides. Divide both sides by 0.2. I divided by a positive, so my sign stays the same. So 15 divided by 2/10 is 75. So that's when, if I'm doing more than 75 miles, then it's going to be, B is going to be more. All right, let's look at 12. Hannah has a savings account with a balance of $210 and deposits $15 per month. Faith has a savings account, so let's write Hannah's. 210 plus 15 per month. Faith has a savings account with 175 plus 20 per month. How many months will it take for Hannah's account to be less than Faith's account? So I'm going to move my variables first. I move my number. Divide both sides by 5. I divided by positive, so my sign's going to stay the same. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Alright, let's flip to number 13. Write an inequality that represents the graph below. Show all work. It tells us that at the top. Alright, so I know that I'm going to have 3, so I'm going to use x and 3. It's open circle, so I know I'm not going to have the equal sign with it. And x is 4, 5, 6, 7, so x is greater than 3. 14. Which graph represents all possible values? Alright, so I need to solve this. So divide both sides by -9. Alarms, bells, something going off because I divided by a negative, so I'm going to flip the sign. It's going to be +2 and x. So I'm looking for it at the 2, which B and D are not. X is less than. This is going to be less than, so C is correct. Sorry, not all that was showing on the screen. Let's go down to 15. Which of the following is not a solution? So in order to know what's not a solution, I need to solve it. So I have a +7, so I'm going to subtract the 7, leaving me with -2m. Anytime I have a negative coefficient, so that's a -2, I know that I'm eventually going to have to divide by a negative. Alarms, bells. So I'm going to flip it. Cancel. -6. So let's think. I like to draw my number line for this. So I have -6, -5, -4, -7. It's going to be closed. So it can include -6, so B is out. And I want things that are less, so I'm going to be going this direction. So -7, that's part of it. -10, that's part of it, but -2 is not. Now I'm going through this pretty fast. It should be more of a checking your answers because you had You've had this review for a while. Write an inequality that represents all the values x that y is less than or equal to negative 4x minus 13 minus 2 when y equals 38. So I'm going to start by replacing my y with that 38. Less than or equal to. And then I'm just going to rewrite my problem. All right. So I'm going to start by distributing that negative 4. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Bring down my subtraction. Negative 4 times 13 is negative 52. I see a subtraction and a negative. We should automatically be thinking at this point, add a line, change a sign. Combine these like terms. 52 minus 2 is 50. Subtract 50 from both sides. Divide by negative 4. Bells, alarms, something should be going off. Divide by. So I'm going to flip my sign. This is going to be 3 and x. So 3 is greater than or equal to x. All right, let's flip to number 17. Mr. Rogers is buying pencils and notebooks for the students in his English class. He wants to spend no more than $30. So we have 30. And he does not want to spend more than that. So his spending is going to have to be less than. Okay. No more. But he also could spend $30 if he wanted to. Okay. If a box of pencils costs $3.99 and notebooks cost 75 cents, which inequality can be used to find out how many boxes of pencils and how many notebooks he can purchase? So we have $3.99 for pencils, which they use the letter B, plus 75 cents for notebooks, which they use N. So $3.99B, which matches $3.99B, plus 75 cents N. And our symbol is going that direction. Jackson Middle School is hosting its annual spring dance that will cost $500. The treasurer reports that the dance fund has $85 left over from last year. So they have $85. Each ticket to the dance costs $6, so they're going to add $6 per ticket. Which inequality can be used to determine how many tickets must be sold to pay for the dance? So it's okay if they earn just $500. That's my equal sign. But if we earn more than $500, that's also good. So 85 plus 6t. And we want it to be greater than or equal to, which matches C. Let's look at number 19. Mel works as a waiter. He uses the expression 4x plus 5 to calculate his hourly earnings in dollars based on the number of tables x he serves. What is the fewest number of tables he must serve per hour in order to earn more than 25 per hour? So we want to earn a total of 25. Subtract 5. Actually, I'm going to take this away from being an x because we want to earn more than 25. Divide by 4. All right, so he's going to need to do which is the fewest number of tables he must serve per hour in order more than 25 per hour. Well, not 5 and not 4. So the fewest he needs to do is actually 6. Because if he does 5, he only is earning 25. We want more than that 25. Which inequality represents all the values of x such that twice the difference of a number and 4 is at least 20. Is it 20? So twice the difference. So we're going to do twice the difference. Now, we've talked about this, that if it says twice and then it doesn't give me a number, it gives me an operation. Twice the difference, we're going to use our parentheses, of a number and 4 is at least 20. Okay? So, I want to say at least. That means I want, it can be equal to it, or I need it to be more than. So, A and C don't have our parentheses. D has the wrong symbol, so B is the only correct one. All right, let's move on to number 21. All right, so let's look. The length of a rectangle, so I'm going to, before I even work this, W, L, W, L. The length of a rectangle, I'm sorry guys, I'm doing this during conference, so there's bells. The length of the rectangle is 4 less than 3 times the width. So it is 4 less than, so I'm going to subtract 4 from 3 times the width. So I can replace all of these L's with 3W minus 4. All right, so now we know the perimeter, so I'm going to add my sides, W plus 3W minus 4 plus W plus 3W minus 4. It's going to equal 56. Combine like terms, there's a bunch of W's, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 W's. Negative 4, that's negative 8. Combining my like terms. Add 8 to both sides. Divide both sides by 8. And I get a width of 8. But my question, and we have to go back and read our question, what is the length? So I'm going to plug in 3 times 8 minus 4. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 minus 4 is 20. So now I have that these two widths are 8, and these are 20. So if I do 20 plus 8 plus 20 plus 8, it should equal 56, which it does. That lets us know we did it correct. So my answer is 20. All right, let's go on to 22. To rent a car from the car rental place, one must pay $20 plus $1.50 per mile. If Juan has a total of $350 to spend, how many miles can he afford to drive? So this is an equal situation. Subtract 20. Divide both sides by 1.5. So 330 divided by 1.5. We get that my miles is 220. He can afford 220 miles. Let's look at 23. Distribute. Bring down my subtraction. Distribute. Distribute. Bring down my subtraction. Distribute. All right, combine like terms. So I have a negative 8 minus 6. 2x. So negative 8 minus 6 is negative 14. I bring my 2x over. Leave them in negative 14. 3x minus 5. Add 5 to both sides. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 3. All right, let's look at 24. If negative 12 plus x equals 7, find the value of 4x minus 2. So, Negative 12. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. X equals 19. So now I'm going to go back and plug it over here. 4 times 19 minus 2. Now this is an expression. It's an expression because it does not have an equal sign on it. Alright, so I'm going to do 4 times 19 minus 4 times 19 was 76. 76 minus 2 is 74. There's my final answer. Solve. So we're going to distribute 5x plus 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 7 is 3, so 5x plus 3. Subtract my 5x. When I do that, I'm left with 3 equals 3, which means all real numbers. A few of you are still forgetting this. Just think of it as it is equal, so this kind of makes a sideways equal. Look at 26. All we can do is simplify it because there's no equal sign. So 2x. I'm going to add a line, change the sign anytime there's subtraction before my parentheses. So 3 times x, negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Bring down my subtraction. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Add a line, change the sign. Combine these two, so 2x minus 2x minus 3x is negative x, or negative 1x, plus 12. Negative x plus 12 is as much as it can be simplified and worked out. All right, that is the end of our review sheet. I will be here at 7:20 tomorrow. If you have any questions about any of these, we did some of them in class together, some of the ones that I thought were a little bit more challenging. But if you have questions, please come tomorrow morning. If you want to just, if you need to just check over them, whatever it is, just let me know. All right, y'all have a good day.